On the morning of August 27, 1896, a war began that would last just 38 minutes. Today, we're diving into the astonishing story of the Anglo-Zanzibar War, the shortest war in recorded history. Zanzibar, a tiny island off the coast of East Africa, was at the time a crucial hub for trade, including spices, ivory, and, sadly, the remnants of the slave trade. But in 1896, it became the stage for a brief but dramatic clash between local authority and British imperial power. By the late 19th century, European powers were scrambling for control over Africa. The British Empire had established influence over Zanzibar, a wealthy sultanate whose strategic location and trade networks made it indispensable. But Zanzibar's rulers were not mere puppets. Their politics were complex and often deadly. Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini had ruled Zanzibar peacefully under British oversight. But when he died suddenly on August 25, 1896, his cousin, Khalid bin Bargash, seized power without British approval. The British, who preferred a more compliant sultan, immediately issued an ultimatum: Khalid must step down. Khalid, perhaps misjudging the British resolve, refused, and so war was declared. To understand this war, we need to meet its key players. Khalid bin Bargash, ambitious cousin of the late Sultan, declared himself Sultan without British approval. British officials, led by Rear Admiral Harry Rawson, who commanded a small but technologically superior naval force. Zanzibar defenders, around 2,800 men, including palace guards, sailors, and militia. The British had 3 cruisers and 2 gunboats, armed with modern artillery. Khalid had a small coastal defense, including 1 cruiser, artillery batteries, and palace defenders armed mostly with rifles and a few cannons. Khalid barricaded himself in the palace, fortified the gates, and prepared for resistance. But behind these preparations, the disparity in firepower would soon become evident. The British issued an ultimatum demanding Khalid step down by 9 a.m. on August 27th. Failure to comply would result in immediate military action. At exactly 9:02 a.m., the British opened fire. Their ship's artillery quickly disabled the defending guns, and the shelling destroyed the Sultan's palace and Zanzibar's small naval force. Within minutes, the palace walls were shattered. The defending cruiser, HHS Glasgow, was set ablaze, and Khalid realized his situation was hopeless. By 9:40 a.m., just 38 minutes after the first shots, the shelling stopped. Khalid had fled to the German consulate and eventually escaped to German East Africa, leaving the British to install their preferred sultan. The casualties were lopsided, roughly 500 Zanzibaris killed or wounded, while only 1 British sailor was injured. The war was over before most people had fully realized it had begun. The British quickly installed Sultan Hamad bin Mohammed, a compliant ruler who ensured British control over Zanzibar for decades to come. The Anglo-Zanzibar War is famously the shortest in history. But why did it end so quickly? The answer lies in technology, preparation, and the psychological shock of modern artillery. British ships had long-range cannons capable of devastating targets in minutes. Khalid's forces were poorly equipped and lacked heavy artillery. The British had clear objectives: remove the Sultan and assert dominance. They were not interested in prolonged conflict. The war had broader implications. It was a vivid demonstration of imperial power and a warning to any ruler challenging British authority. It also cemented Zanzibar's role as a protectorate until its eventual independence in 1963. How brief, the war is remembered as a symbol of colonial imbalance. It also offers a window into the rapid technological changes that made such brief conflicts possible. Today, the story of the 38-minute war serves as a curious footnote in history, a reminder of how quickly events can escalate and how technology can decisively tip the scales. The Anglo-Zanzibar War may have lasted less than an hour, but its story has endured for over a century. It teaches us about ambition, imperialism, and the sometimes absurd brevity of human conflict. 38 minutes. A war shorter than your lunch break, but longer in lessons for history. If you enjoyed this deep dive into history's shortest war, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more fascinating historical stories. Until next time, history waits for no one.